What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ladies Who Brunch. I am Julissa.
What's up, everybody? This is Skittles.
And this week, we have Brooklyn-born, dope actor, writer, comedian, Andrew. Who the fuck are you?
Oh my gosh, who am I? Who aren't I, really, is the question. I'm everything, and man, I just love everything. I love stuff. And I absorb so many things. I'm a sponge, really, of culture and of art and of comedy. Man, comedy's my shit. I really love making people laugh.
Yeah.
You know, I started making people laugh in kindergarten. I told my first joke to Miss Kennedy, my kindergarten teacher. It was an impression of a giraffe eating. It's not that good now.
I was going to say, can we hear it?
No, it's not that good. It's not that good. It was a thing I did with my face. And Miss Kennedy liked it so much, she grabbed me by the wrist, brought me out into the hallway, and called all the other kindergarten teachers to come watch me do this thing. And so at a certain point, in that moment, I realized I have every single kindergarten teacher in the palm of my hand laughing in the hallway at this thing that I'm doing, and about 160 children are completely unattended because of what I can do with my dumb face and the power that I absorbed in that moment, the things I could do with comedy. I was like, oh, I'm gonna run everything with this.
That's awesome. So it started comedy and then it built into acting?
You know, I didn't think for a long. I didn't think of that story for a really long time. The one with Miss Kennedy, as being the moment that I realized that I could do comedy. But it was, and then I continued to do, you know, all the theater that they did in, you know, my elementary school. So whenever there was a show, I was like, oh, can I do that?
Yeah.
I got the lead in I think it was my first or second grade play in elementary school, and it was Home Alone 3, Lost in the World. Right? Because part two had just come out.
Right.
And so it was Home Alone 2, you know, Lost in New York. And so the teachers got together and they thought they'd write this script to teach kids about the world.
Right.
And then, you know, of course, Home Alone 3, the actual movie, came out after that. So we had the first Home Alone 3, what, PS10.
Yo.
PS10, shout outs.
Claim your rights.
The Louisa May Alcott School.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a magnet school now.
It's a magnet. You know, there's so many magnet schools. In New York City, like, I mean, we all grew up in New York City, so we have a sense of, like, the school system. A lot has changed since we were in school, I feel like. From schools that used to be bad, like, being able to, like, exist for a really long time, to those schools being broken down, and now it's like you'll have, like, 3 schools in one building.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's changed so much. So, from that moment, you got to do some of that acting stuff. What were some of your next steps?
Man, I think I dropped. Well, maybe I didn't completely drop like performing, but I definitely dropped acting for a hot minute. So from like elementary school, maybe all the way up until college, I really didn't do much like acting or performance. But I did do dance, and so I picked up dance in junior high school, and was on like the dance. We had what was called talent. I went to this middle school called MS 51. The William Alexander Middle School. It had this great sort of program called the Rainbow Program for like bright kids, and then it had the ACE program for the run-of-the-mill regular old kids. And I started out in the Rainbow Program. They kicked me out because I was a badass, and then I was in the ACE program for a hot minute. And in the ACE program, one of the what they call talents that was available, there was the photography, there was drama, and then there was dance. And I saw that there were you know, the cool kids wanted to be in dance, but also a lot of the very pretty girls were in dance, and I was like, yo, I gotta do that. Because, like, you know, I was a bright kid, right? Which is why I got into the Rainbow Program, but I was bored really quickly, you know, like I picked things up really quickly and was bored easily with school. So, you know, that's around the time when the hormones started kicking up, and I got my first pair of Air Jordans because my cousin Melinda got them for me, and
nice.
People started looking my way, and I was like, yo, what's good? Yo, what's good?
What's good? Everybody was good.
And I got my first like Caesar haircut.
Ooh.
You know, that low haircut with the spiky sideburns, with the sharp square front and the round in the back. You know what I'm saying? I had the tight Caesar. I finally found like a good barbershop. Because my grandmother used to take me to a hairstylist. And I used to get this pushback, gelled back, funky, weird haircut, and I looked like somebody's grandpa. And I was like, yo, but I'm a teenager now. I need something to fly. So I found the barbershop. I started going. And, man, they did this thing to my mustache that I didn't have. I didn't have a mustache. I had, like, fuzz.
Yes.
And at the time, they took, the straight edge razor.
Yes.
And they pushed that fuzz down into a shape. And I had, like, 2 pencil lines. And I thought I was a poppy.
Oh, man.
Yo, I thought I was a poppy.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I was really just like, my attention was on like girls and like dancing, and I started going to like parties. My brother was incarcerated. He did like 6 or 7 years, at that time. When he finally came out of jail, I was like 12 or 13 years old, and he was clearly the coolest person I'd ever seen. He went to jail. He did a long bid. He had only got, I used to make this joke about him. He only got sentenced to like 1 or 2 years in prison, and then because of bad behavior, he ended up doing like 7.
Wow.
And I always said that he was really bad at math because like, yo, you couldn't calculate. You were supposed to do 2. You did 7, dog. You failed math. What's up? And so he came out. And he was like, yo, you want to party? And I didn't know what that meant. And I was like, yeah, I want to party. You're cool. You probably like do all kinds of fun shit. Let's go.
Right. So
I started smoking and drinking like real young, man.
Yeah.
I was still in junior high school when that started happening, and then I really fell off like the good boy track. I started hanging out with the wrong kids and doing the wrong stuff. I got arrested. I got into trouble. I got into fist fights. Fist fights really are the important part of all that. I feel like in order to be a good functioning adult human being, you need to get punched in the face once.
I've heard that before.
It really does something to you.
Yeah.
It humbles you in some way. Because, man, getting punched in the face was...
Life-changing.
Life-changing. Punching someone in the face is life-changing. But being punched in the face is also like, oh, I'm not invincible. And there's something about like the embarrassment that comes from like being in a circle of people who are all like, yeah, fight, yeah. And being punched in the face, like that humbles the shit out of you.
Word.
Yeah, man.
So you got punched in the face.
Got punched in the face in junior high school. A lot of shit happened in junior high school. I fell in love. Oh, I've always been a lover. I had my first girlfriend in kindergarten.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a lover. I fell in love in junior high school many times. Was trying to learn every girl's story. I was, really...
You were really a poppy.
I was trying to be.
That haircut really did something to you.
The haircut, the Jordans. I figured out that my rhythm was tight, so I was going to all the parties.
Parties and dancing.
And I wasn't I'm around little Marshmallow now, but like then I was fit.
Did you have the fake 6-pack?
I had a real 6-pack.
Oh.
Because I was working out at home. Because I wasn't like going out, like my grandmother was not like, oh yeah, go hang out on, every day. I was still on lock. And so what I would do is I'd stay up late and I'd use the stuff we had in the house as gym equipment.
Yeah.
So I turned the sofa into like I used to like lift it as exercise.
Wow.
And then I used to do these upside down push-ups.
I
was an acrobat, not technically, but I would like do backflips off of like the gym equipment. And one time I tried to do a backflip in front of all these pretty girls, and I fell on my neck. That was tough.
Damn. Wow. Well, what a journey. You really were a little innovator, it sounds like, in many ways. So that's really cool. And later we're going to talk a little bit more about Brooklyn and your time in Brooklyn.
But first, what we want to know is, what is your favorite brunch plate?
Brunch plate. So brunch, a lot of people, I don't think they do it right. I think brunch is an opportunity to pig out on both breakfast and lunch. And so when people don't get both a breakfast item and a lunch item in their brunch dish, I'm like, you're fucking up.
Yeah,
that's
I
real.
agree.
You've done it wrong.
That's real.
The whole reason we've gotten together is to fucking mix some shit up.
Right.
So my favorite brunch item is chicken and waffles.
Yes.
Such a classic.
Because waffles for breakfast, chicken for lunch. What's up, though?
Yes.
And honestly, like you go to some. Have you ever been to Sweet Chick in Brooklyn?
Yes, I've been to Sweet Chick.
I just have to ask.
I live at Sweet Chick.
The food
Nas
there-
owns that fucking restaurant.
Yeah, he does, and the fucking food is just so good. They have this one like Asian infused like chicken and waffle where it's like a, I don't know, it has like a glaze. I forget if I don't think it's teriyaki. There's just some glaze that's on that chicken, and it is so motherfucking.
They got a Sweet Chick here in LA.
Do they really?
Oh yeah, on Fairfax.
Oh.
Fairfax is the Prince Street of LA, I think.
Gotcha.
So it's got the Supreme store. It's got like all the sneakerhead shit. It's got this place called John and Vinny's, which like the Italian restaurant that fucking Will Smith's kid goes to. What's his name?
Oh, Jaden. Yeah.
Jaden goes there. He raps about it, and and of course Sweet Chick. So when I went to Sweet Chick, in walks Kylie Jenner and Travis Scott.
Wow.
Yeah, we were just like, it was maybe my first year here. I hadn't really seen that many famous people, and
Right.
then in walks like the two biggest social media stars
Right.
there are. And I was like, huh, why? What are you doing here? You can afford food elsewhere. Why would you come to Nas's Sweet Chick in LA? But fucking they came in.
Is that chicken good?
That chicken good. That chicken's so good, they serve chicken and waffles all day long.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
So, Andrew, with your chicken and waffles, what are we going to be drinking?
Wow. Okay. There was this other like hipstery fucking spot in Brooklyn that has been shut down. That's what happens in Brooklyn, right? These like cool, because you want to hate the hipsters. And you do, and then you want to hate them, but then they come with these really cool restaurants with their funky.
They really do.
And you're just like,
I thought you were going to say with their funky armpits. So, because let's be honest.
Sure, yes, definitely some funky pits. But I'm like, yo, get these fucking hipsters out of here, but leave their restaurants behind.
Right. Yeah.
So there was this one spot called the Brooklyn Star. It's been shut down since I went there. I had a birthday celebration there one year.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, or maybe 2 years in a row. Maybe I'm that basic. I don't know. But they had this delicious coffee drink that had like brandy in it, and coffee and sweet condensed milk.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, it was like called oh man, like it had some funky name like Coco Loco or something weird like that.
Word. Wonderful. So tell me, what was it like to go out to eat when you were growing up?
Man, growing up. So I've got several stories, right? Depends on who I was with, right? So I grew up solely with my grandmother. My mom was locked up, and just about everybody in my family was in jail. And there was a certain point where it was just me and my grandmother who were like living together, and on the weekends we'd visit people in jail and bring them snacks or whatever the fuck we did. And there wasn't much time or money to really go out. But when we did go out, me and my grandmother would take me to McDonald's.
That's the one.
That's the one, right? So my grandmother took me to McDonald's like one Friday a month or something like that. And I got the fucking Happy Meal, and I had the toy, and I was like, oh, perfect. This is fine dining. McDonald's is fine dining because it comes with a toy.
With a toy.
Yeah, and what was your favorite toy? Like, do you remember?
I vividly remember they invented a character that had a moon for a head. Like a crescent moon.
Yes.
It was a character, I don't remember what, but I remember he was in like a Jeep, and I remember that toy.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't know the name of that character.
I was going to say, I could not tell you the name to save my life.
Nope.
But I know exactly what you're talking about.
He was an ongoing character for a hot minute.
Wow, and I'm going to Google it after. Like, I haven't thought about that.
He has like red eyes or something.
Yeah. It's literally like, he looks almost Jay Leno-ish.
Yes.
Because he's like a crescent.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like he wore sunglasses, didn't he?
He might have been super cool enough to wear sunglasses. Yeah.
He's
the moon. He could do whatever the fuck he wants.
Whatever he wanted. Yeah, in the Jeep. Like, I remember
in that
specific-
turquoise colored Jeep. Yeah.
Wow, yeah, that's incredible.
And so because grandmother and me were in that situation, I did a thing where I would adopt other families. Mm-hmm. So I found what I hoped for in a family, sort of what are they called? Not platonic, but nuclear. I found nuclear families where there was a mom and a dad and a child or several children, and I gravitated towards those people. So some of my best friends in life I've been friends with now over 28 years.
Wow.
Because they welcomed me into their home, they welcomed me into their lives. So my best friend Javier Munoz, he's Colombian. I would spend like time at his house sometimes and like do whatever Colombian thing that they were doing and have dinner with them however they were. My good friend Odile, same deal. We were friends from first grade all the way till now. She confuses the shit out of people because she introduces me as
this fucking fly.
There's a fly. For anyone
there
listening,
is a fly.
There's a fly in the room.
Anyone watching?
And we're all fighting. And so Odile, her family is French, and they took me into their home, and they took me everywhere. Like they adopted me. They literally called me their son. And she confuses people because she'll tell people that I'm her brother when they meet me, and we look nothing alike. So they're always like, from where, bro? One time, Odile and her family took me out to this very fancy restaurant. And the only thing I recognized on the menu, I'm like 9, 10 years old, was pizza. So I ordered the pizza on the menu. And what comes to me doesn't look like what I think pizza should look like. There are like pine nuts on it and vegetables. And I'm 10 and I'm like, I don't fucking want vegetables. I want more cheese than I see on this plate. And this is one of the things I'm really embarrassed about in my entire life. I summoned a sneeze. And I sneezed directly into the pizza. And then I looked up and I was like, can't eat this pizza. Sorry, guys. It's been sneezed on.
What a dick.
I was a dick, yes. I was a total dick. I was like, so sorry, guys. I can't eat this pizza.
That.
We're at a very nice restaurant. I don't remember where it was, but it was very nice from what I could recall. And I was like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. I sneezed into this pizza. I can't be eaten. And Odile's mom said, the fuck out of here. She just ate the pizza like nothing. She's like, I'm paying for this. And she ate that pizza because she's a gangster. And she's from Brooklyn. And that's real shit.
Yo, she said, get the fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here. She ate that pizza. That's Juliet, she's wonderful, and she's one of those people who are like, like a mother figure to me and was around a lot. But I sneezed into that pizza and it was real embarrassing.
Yo.
I have another family I adopted in the same way. Janelle and Justin, they're technically my god brothers, and their parents, Raphael and Jeanette, they moved into the building I lived in, and they were some of the first kids who lived in that building ever. Like I was really young. There were no other children, and so Janelle and his family moved into that building, and so I, as I told you guys before, was always on the fire escape in my apartment building. Right. Because it looked to me like a jungle gym. And my grandmother, for whatever reason, thought it was safer for me to be out there than to be with the neighborhood kids who were on the street doing bad shit. Because when I was with them, I did bad shit too. And so I'm hanging out on the fire escape. Janelle's family's downstairs having a party. And I like crawl down there in, like a t-shirt and like, my tighty whities. And I look in the window. I did this a lot. I looked in everybody's fucking window all the time. I was a creepy little like 8-year-old kid. And I looked in the window, and their father, Rafael, he looks at me. He goes, hey, you want to come inside and play with my son? And I was like, yes. And so I came in, and I've been family ever since. Like, wow.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, they've been my family ever since. And they taught me how to sit at a table and have dinner and like have dinner conversation. Wow. To just talk about like how your day's going and what's going on. As opposed to the way I used to eat with my grandmother, which is like I'd stick my face into a bowl of mac and cheese, literally without utensils, just eat with my mouth and my face in the bowl, and just have cheese, nice. or like eat in the bedroom, watching TV or whatever. But like here, I was sitting at a table using a fork and knife and eating food and like talking to people, and that was the first time ever. So my eating experience as a kid was very different depending on who I was with.
Yeah.